Hey, loves. Um, you are my beloved. I adore you. I'm sitting today in front of the camera because something came to my mind today, my heart today, that I think is really important to be sharing with you. I was privy to one more conversation about the ego self, and those of us that are committed to our own evolution, our own spiritual path. Many of us are still dealing actively with this aspect of ourselves that we call the ego. And to, to many of us, it seems like an aspect of ourselves that we are cursed to live with forever, and at best we can tolerate or feel that somehow we're managing this aspect of ourselves. Um, that's what I really want to talk about today. Um, some time ago, I became aware that the ego self, which I had pretty much made my enemy, I used to call everything that was ego crap and prattle. Was that very friendly? I really meant it. I meant that it had little value to me. I was desperately trying to withdraw the value of all egoic activity in my experience to make it just go away, to make it just leave me. Um, and I see a lot of us still trying to combat our ego, or at least ignore it or make it go away. And the very poignant point that I would like to bring to our attention today is that some time ago, I think it was probably through my beloved brother Matt Kahn, who also has extensive video work on YouTube. I adore him. He is a master that is here to speak life into our experience. Some time ago, sitting with him in a gathering, I became aware of the way he would instruct us to put our hand on our chest and speak to our own heart and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. And he would get almost goofy with that expression. At first I found that really hard to do. Gradually I thought, okay, well, I can do this. I can be goofy too. But the point is, as I continued to do that, I realized that something was changing within my awareness. And I began to understand this about my egoic self. Earlier on, before I learned to love my heart, dropped into my awareness that the ego was really my constructed self, my made-up self. I made and remade myself over the years. You know, we all talk about we reinvented ourselves one more time, one more time, one more time, and hopefully this is a finer version of ourselves, but we always end up with knowledge that we're the same person. Because the ego seems to be a lifetime experience. I want to say it's not a lifetime experience unless you want it to be. And who would want it if they knew they didn't have to live with it? Let me share with you what I've learned. Pretty exciting stuff. I'm sharing with you what I know from my own experiencing. And I know sometimes other people's experiences we want to compare ourselves with. And okay, well, he's got lots of advantages. This is why he came to that when he did, blah, blah, blah. None of that's real. We make all those stories up, right? The fact of the matter is, when we're committed to our individual spiritual journey and trajectory into the awesomeness of our reality, the ego continues to show up as we're moving into our authentic self, our actual divine self, because The ego is part of us. It is part of us energetically. Nothing that we could make could have been constructed out of anything but divine love. Yes, we constructed it from a fear-based vantage point, but the substance of the construction was love. So the ego shows up, in my experience, to be seen for what it is in the moment that it shows up, and not reacted to and shunned or sent away, but to be recognized as, oh my gosh, I made that up. I made that up. And I don't have to send it away from me. I'm going to incorporate the love that's the substance of that making back into the love that is my heart. And in so doing, I just nowadays, when that shows up for me, I just see it. Sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's very detached, very objective, just showing up. And as quickly as it shows up, I can say, oh, come home, come home, come home. And the love that actually was the substance of that making just comes right in to my heart, just right into my heart. And the behavior or the thought or the attitude just goes away. That was made. Anything that's made can go away. Only the created is eternal. But everything we made from fear, from a fear-based vantage point, goes away. And we are masters of the going away of what we've made. We cannot, however, make that which is eternal, the divine love which was the substance that we made with, go away. It must come back into the reality that we are. Energy never leaves. It always goes somewhere else. Well, your egoic energy is wanting to be integrated into your being, back into your heart. And I'm sitting here in front of my video camera to say to you, with complete honesty, I don't know if you could just see the vibrational change in my expression as I said that, but I felt it, because I want to convey this from the purity of my heart. That when we begin to invite the energy behind the ego back into our heart, that which we made, that which we constructed out of fear, from a fear-based vantage point, just incorporates back in. The attitudes and actions and all, they go away there without consequence. But the love has to reincorporate. And my experience may seem unique if you're unaware of what I'm talking about, but I recognize that many, many, many of us are beginning to understand this reality. And that if you open your heart, open your mind, you'll see, and listen to this more than once. Watch this more than once. Because as we continue to invite the energy behind the ego back into our heart expands and expands and expands. This is the true meaning of forgiveness. This is maybe one of the true meanings of forgiveness. I forgive myself for not knowing who I was. And I invite that aspect of the ego that is actually who I am back into my heart, and allow that aspect of that constructed aspect of me to vaporize. But the love comes home. The love comes home. And as we invite the love that we are back into our heart, alchemy happens. The energy that was utilized as constructed stuff comes back into our heart and is scientifically, psychologically, physiologically, and spiritually transmuted into the divine love that we are. Pretty far out, huh? One more thought. I know this is reality because I'm experiencing it. And I always want to speak to you from my experiencing. So I'm going to say, if the old guy on the video, the old guy sitting in front of you on your video screen, can experience what he says he's experiencing, then so can you. It's absolutely true. And it's absolutely a phenomenal knowing of ourself. That we never have to go back. We never have to go back to the battle of the ego, the battle of the constructed self, when we recognize that it just wants to be loved free. Just wants to be loved free. I hope this resonates with you. If it doesn't today, I hope you're conscious enough to just save it, maybe look at it a little bit later. If it resonates with you today and you need to revisit it, do that. This is a powerful way of being. This is the way we've always wanted to be. This is the way we came here to be. One unified field of light. One unified field of love embodied as ourselves. That's why we came. That's why we incarnated on the earth. To be one unified body of light. One unified you. One unified me. I love you. I am grateful for your willingness to sit in front of this transmission. I sincerely hope that it's touched you deeply, and that you, if you don't understand it with your head, your heart already knows. Do well. I love you. Namaste.